Hi, I'm Jeff Rack. I'm the resident set designer for Theater 40. Theater 40 is actually on the campus of Beverly Hills High School. And this room is used as a classroom. So we have to build everything that's actually solid behind these two pillars. But it's a beautiful little theater and very intimate space. Every seat is pretty much a good seat. You know, set design really is a process. The first thing I do is discuss the play and the set with the director. And then the next thing is to find out all the practical elements that are needed in the show, which can be anything from doors, windows, to settings. Here you're seeing the kitchen area, and then upstairs is the boys' bedroom, which is supposedly an attic room. This doorway back here is the entrance from the other part of the house into the kitchen and that house over there, but also this was an entrance to another house, the girl's house and her father's house. So this had to become two different locations. This area of the set is the field where a bunch of abandoned washers have been left by the Washer King. I needed to create a completely different space, an outdoor area, and yet it is very close proximity to the interior areas. What's great about this show is that I could go very theatrical with it and kind of surreal actually, and kind of mash up the different sets. They kind of blend and bleed into each other. So this is the fifth setting, which is the prison area. So quite a few different locations to kind of fit all on one stage. The fun aspect of this show and the designing of it was that the characters are all kind of coming apart. So I interpreted that within the walls themselves and just broke them apart. So they split apart. And within that split, you can see is the field. Then also you can see the fans, the letters that are floating in the sky, which are all tied in with the female protagonist in the story, the young girl. I wanted to kind of get a feeling of things in motion here, somewhat like a washing machine that's you know, spinning and rinsing and repeating, and there's a lot of repetition and things repeating in these people's lives. I've had some nice comments on this set about people being very clear about where they were from scene to scene, moment to moment. So that's not just a testament to what I've done, but to the actors and to the director and the lighting designers and all the technical people that are involved in this show. This is actually a gobo, which is projected through a lighting instrument. It's just cut out of metal. I drew it out and we took it to a company that actually cut the gobo off based on my drawings. It worked out really great because it needs to be there when we want it to be there and then go away, of course, when we don't need it to be there. It looks like it's all lath and plaster, but actually it's you know, more solid pieces that I grooved and then broke off. And it's kind of very sculptural. I mean, I kind of consider all my sets kind of like sculptures, big, large sculptures. I like to sculpt, and so it's just sculpting out of the wood.
If you think you're going to save your neck by giving yourself to the jailer, you misjudge your man.
Well, it hadn't occurred to me, but now that you mention it, the only thing you overlook is that I happen to be innocent. You don't need saving.
If you're in love with him as a man, I'm afraid you'll be disillusioned. He is incapable of love.
You're going to pretty fantastic lengths to tear out a man who means nothing.
He fell in love once in his life with a dead woman.
Like any aspect of theater or film, whether it's costuming or lighting or props, is about storytelling. It's all part of telling the story. You're there to serve the piece, to serve the writer, to serve the director, but mainly you're there to help the audience understand the story that's being told. The big challenge in this show is that the first and second act take place in one room of a palatial estate. And the third act changes into a completely different location, which is the attic of that same house. So that was my challenge, to try and figure out how to make all that work on this stage and on this space without any fly space or really any wing space. So it was a good challenge. It was fun. It was fun to figure it out, and I think it's all going to work. This is a door show, like a lot of mystery shows are. This goes to the billiard room. These go outside to the terrace. This door here will be covered up by a bookcase. There's going to be a terrace door entrance here. This opening will be double doors. Inside these doors there's going to be a curved staircase that goes up to a landing, which will have to be going up to the attic, which we'll get to in the third act. The other thing that happens in this third act is that this door will be revealed. This whole wall, which is not in place yet, will be just a flat wall in the first and second act. But in the third act, when we go up to the attic, at this point it's going to be hinged, and this whole wall is going to flip around and cover up those double doors. The double doors will be open, because on this other side of this wall is going to be this fireplace. The fireplace then also will open up. It's a secret entrance into a secret room. There's going to be a safe that they find inside this room. So in one move of that wall, you get quite a bit of change in the look of this space. As you can see, the set is now finished. The show's actually been running for a few weeks and is doing very well. I don't think we had any paint on it, or definitely we didn't have anything dressed, but as you can see, it's got nice maroon paint, and the texture on the paint is actually the same color paint, except it's in a semi-gloss. So I put down the maroon flat color first, and then I sponge on the gloss in a pattern, and so it looks like the old-fashioned wallpaper of that period, that era.
Does your aunt suspect anything?
No, I told her that, and J.G. Gardner knows all there was about it.
Dale? God, sweetheart, you know I would take that money, right?
Of course. I believe in you absolutely.
But the police here, what does that mean?
My aunt says people have been trying to break in here for a week at night.
What sort of people?
She doesn't know.
That proves what I've contended right along. It was Jonathan Fleming who took that money. He put it here. Dale, somebody else knows that he did that.
The detective thinks you're guilty because you ran away.
Ran away? Ran away? Sweetheart, the only chance I had was a few hours to myself so I could try to prove what actually happened here.
Then why don't you tell him that? Tell the detective that Jonathan Fleming took the money and it's still here.
Because he'd take me into custody at once. I'd have no chance to search.
Well, I hope that gives you some insight into my process of how I conceptualize a piece, and then of course it has to be built and painted and distressed and filled with furniture and props and all those things. I never really planned on being a set designer, but it kind of chose me in a weird way, and for the longest time I didn't really accept myself as or admit that I was a set designer. You know, I just considered myself an artist that did sets, and I still kind of do that, but I mean, I've done it for so many years that I have to finally admit that I guess that's the main thing that I do. But like I said, it's all about the storytelling.